When I came here to United States, I didn't want to go to school. All I wanted was to just work and help my family and send money back to Honduras. But then my father encouraged me to go to school and finish high school because back in Honduras I dropped out of school. So I wanted just work. And my father put me into school. We did all the paperwork, and that's how I met Ricky, one of the uAspire's advisor.
uAspire has one focus, and that is college affordability. When a young person, particularly low-income students, are navigating a path to and through college, there are many factors that they need to think about and that are challenges. uAspire focuses on this one piece. And so if we can really help people understand what they need to do to make it affordable, that allows them to really focus on the other things, their education, social, emotional. So we just want to make sure that every young person has the financial information and support to be able to navigate challenges that can stop that person from getting to and through college.
I came from Thailand. I was born in a refugee camp. In terms of financing and education, my parents didn't really have a lot of money to send me to school. In our culture, when you have kids, it's not, let's save every penny for a child's education. And I think that because they had such minimal exposure to what education was, it wasn't really enforced in my house. When I started going to school, I had to realize that, in order to be successful or, get the best of opportunities out here, you have to get an education.
My mom likes to tell us a story that when she came to America, she had $8 in her pocket and struggled to make ends meet. But education was always a top priority. I remember my parents would make sure I had supplies for school even when money was difficult, because here was an opportunity, and why would you not take that opportunity?
I believe that education is how everyone gets an opportunity in the United States to kind of level the playing field, so that regardless of your background, if you work hard and get yourself an education, you can achieve whatever you set out to achieve in your life.
The most rewarding part of working with students is just their successful outcome. There's been countless amount of times in which a student has come discouraged and stressed about this whole situation, and all they needed was somebody to sit with them and just tell them that everything's gonna be okay, that we'll figure this out together. I try to find all the available resources to them. What does the student need to be successful is the question that I ask myself. As much as I want to get on the phone and do everything for them, I always try to teach them to advocate for themselves, because that's something that I learned was crucial for my success.
It's so important to have someone understand the financial barriers that are involved when you go to school. So uAspire in that sense is a huge advantage, because growing up where I went to high school, you're not going to get people coming in telling you like, oh, by the way, do you know that this school costs X amount of dollars? Do you know that you'll be taking loans out? You don't have that in high school. So talking to someone who will educate you on the resources that are out there and the funding that's out there, grants, scholarships, is a huge advantage nowadays, because we don't get that in our high school.
At first, I didn't want to apply for universities and all that, because I kind of felt like I wasn't part of it. I just felt like all I needed was to get my high school diploma, and that was all. But then I started talking to Ricky. He gave me the best advice someone else can ever give you. And he told me that if I could do college and finish my education, I could give more to my family and even bring them here to the United States. For me, it was very deep. All I wanted was something, change my family's life.
Organizations like uAspire are absolutely critical in this day and age, where the cost of higher education has gone up, and in many cases is close to being unaffordable for folks. Folks have to figure out a way to finance, a way to make smart decisions, a way to do it as inexpensively as possible. So I think it's absolutely critical.
The advice that I would give to a student who just entered college and is struggling is just to keep going, persevere. There are many times that I actually felt that I should stop, but I persevered and my parents encouraged me, and 4 years later I had that degree and it changed my life.
We really try to focus our attention on those who need us most. And the students that really need us most are those from low-income backgrounds, and very often will be first-generation college graduates. So it's not just that their families may not have the financial means, but their families, although they absolutely want to support them in every way to get to a post-secondary education and a college degree, they may not have all the information that they need, they may not have English as their first language. And so we really try to help those students in particular.